Hey everyone, so I received my Gel-X Base Color nail extensions yesterday, so I wanted to do a quick review, overview, compare them to the Enailcouture as well as the regular Gel-X tips. So I'm going to try to do this super fast. I tried to shoot this yesterday and I kept hitting my desk and my camera kept moving, so it was just bad quality video. So take two, I guess. I did put the nude color on last night, and I'll talk about that as well. But for now, let's get into the tips. The ones I'm wearing are the base color in the natural stiletto long. Let's see if I can open this. There we go. And this is what it looks like when you open it. And you can see here, this is what I was going to talk about. See the white? These are the ones I used last night, and I got to see if I just was like too tired. And when I did the acetone etching, after doing like 3 nails, I just did them all in a row. So I did like one hand, and then when I got to the next hand, I just kept going. And I didn't clean my brush in between the brush I was using to do the acetone etching. And I noticed the first hand that I did came out perfectly fine. The second hand, I felt like I had to redo, because see how it turned it all white in there? It's like the acetone mixed with the soft gel. Just kind of turned it like a chalky white color. So I tried putting the gel, the Extend gel on it anyway and putting it on, but you can see it came through and you could still see it. But then as you can see here, if I scratch it, it looks like it'll come off. So I want to etch them with a file and see if I can save these nails, which is why I put them in there, so that, you know, for my personal use, since I'm not a nail tech, I can go ahead and maybe hopefully save these for a future use, because otherwise I'm losing, where you're only getting 5, I believe, of each color. No, maybe 10 of each size of each color, I believe it is. So that would be a big impact when you only have 10 of each size. But here's what they look like. And the 6 is what I use on my index finger. So you can see I cut it down just a little bit from the actual size, and the nails still feel pretty long to me. So these are a nice length, and I'll go over the comparison on these versus the Enailcouture normal size that they have. But it comes in 5 colors. So if you haven't seen the 5 colors, this is the light pink color. The color I am wearing is this color here, which is like a nude color. In person, it is a little bit more peach than it's picking up on the camera. The camera picks up all the brown, but not the peach. This is a, what they call a milky white color. I would say this is more slightly whiter, but more typical to a plastic tip color versus you don't get a milky white. When I was trying them on last night on my nails, it just looked like I was wearing a plastic tip versus milky white, in my personal opinion. Then the other color they have, let's see if I can get one out here, is a darker pink color, which I am dying to use that one. Now here's a thing that I also did that I'll kind of segue into. When I put these on, I used a Kiara Sky nail polish that matched this tip perfectly, and I mixed it into my Extend gel and I ran it down the length of the bottom of the nail. The reason I did that is because sometimes, you know how you have a little Extend gel right here. I wanted a smooth transition, but I also wanted to take away a little bit of the sheerness of these, because these are super sheer. They're like a jelly polish, and I wanted something slightly sheer. So they're on mine, you can see that they're still sheer, but they're not totally sheer. So this is not accurate to what these look like if you just put them on with the clear Extend gel. I did match them up to a color that I have that is, I mean, it's an exact match. It's Lunar or Later by Kiara Sky. And I used a little bit of that in my Extend gel, and then I put a little extra and ran it through on the bottom. I also cut all my tips down, all my real nails all the way down, so that it would just have more of a smooth transition versus having like my white free edge transitioning into the nail. So I think when I apply these two pink ones, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look to see what I have for a similar polish color. I'm going to add it in and then just run it through just so that it's a little less sheer. That's just a personal preference of mine. If you like the sheerness of it, then, you know, you can do you. And then this is not the last color. Hold on, there is one other color. Let's see if I can see it here. Here we go. In a different size, maybe. It is like a, why can't I find one? Here we go. I feel like every time I grab one, it's the white one, but it's not. So here you can see you have the milky white that I think looks more like a regular tip, and then you have one that's something of a hybrid or a mix between the milky white and the peach one. It's somewhere in the middle, and I think this one would look really nice if you're doing like glitter fade or ombre or something like that. That would look good. But those are the colors. All the ones I'm going to show you have the same color. I'm going to keep this one out though, because this one is the most similar in color to the Enailcouture. So this one was. So let's go to the next ones. I also got the base color in the natural round medium. And if I have time to edit this before posting, I'll show you what I put one on each nail, not permanently. I just kind of laid it on top of each nail before I applied them so that I could see what they each look like. I'll try to edit and add that in somewhere. These are the medium though, and let's just grab one out so you can take a look. And these are the medium round natural, and I love this shape. This is so beautiful. This is probably like, sometimes I just feel like having short natural nails, just simple, easy. I'm gonna love using these. You can see, I'll just kind of put it here so you can see the difference in length. So they're not super short, but they're I mean, they would look pretty decent. I think this is probably gonna be one of my favorites to use, but it's weird. I tend to only go short 2 or 3 times a year, and I do it for like a week or 2 at a time. So, but I think I'm gonna love having these. Then of course I had to get, stilettos are my go-to. So this is like my go-to 9 times out of 10. This is the shape I have. Usually a little bit shorter, but now I'm into the longer lengths. Let's see how long that lasts. But I've been really loving the coffin, the Sean Legend tips. So I ordered the sculpted coffin long, and these are beautiful. I almost put these on, but I was ready for a change up after using coffin nails for the last little over a month. But you can see the coffin long now. This I thought was interesting. These are the stiletto long, and these are the coffin long. And I don't know if you can see on my hand here because it matches my skin tone so well. But the coffin long is shorter than the stiletto long by just a tiny bit. I was surprised by that, so I just figured I'd point it out in case anybody else was not aware. And the last ones I received were the base color in natural round short. I keep seeing like people with short white or neutral nails, and I'm like, oh, that would look so cool. I think I could get into that trend. And so I ordered the short round thinking, you know, maybe one day I'm gonna want like super short nails. And before I cut my natural nails down, these were actually shorter than my natural nails, and I felt like my natural nails were short, and I thought these would maybe be a little bit longer. So these are super short to me. But what I also noticed, I'm gonna try to see if I can pop one on here for just a second, not like, just for the purposes of the discussion. What I noticed is if you have narrow fingers, these are probably really good for you, because when I found the one that would fit from sidewall to sidewall, right around here, they were thinner than my natural nail. So I would have to get all the way in here and kind of cut my natural nail, and my skin kind of goes right to here, like so it would be very difficult for me to wear these. So I'm kind of bummed. One of my daughters can probably wear these. If not, I may try to resell them, but I've touched them, I've opened them, so I don't know that that's really sanitary to resell, so I'm not sure. I may just be stuck with these. I guess time will tell. But with that being said, let's compare the long stiletto, and this is a natural long stiletto, and all I have for the regular Gel X is the sculpted stiletto long, so it's not going to be a one-for-one comparison as far as that goes, but just so you can kind of see the difference. Here is, I'm going to put it down here. Here is the Apres Clear and the Apres Base Color, what I'm wearing. So you can see the difference. They're exactly the same size, same overall shape. You can see this one is the sculpted, maybe not on camera. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit without too much shake. Let me get over here. This one is sculpted, so you're going to see on this one that it has a little bit more of an apex. I think you can even see it while it's lying flat, at least I can. But what I will say, one thing that I did notice is you can see the difference in thickness. And my guess is that these have to, the base color and the vivid color have to be a little bit thinner in order to cure in the UV light. So these are definitely a little bit thinner than the clear tips. So if you think that the clear tips are flimsy, you're gonna really think these are flimsy. They're not, they're sturdy, they're strong. I think I'm good, but like I said, I did run the Extend Gel mixed with the Kiara Sky Polish through the bottom base of my nail, and I don't like a shiny backside, so if you see that mine look a little matted, it's because I use a matte top coat underneath to get rid of the sticky layer. I just prefer a matte look underneath. That's just my preference. So yeah, you can see that these are just slightly thicker than these. Overall, I mean, you're looking at natural versus sculpted, so there is a little difference in the shape of these, but they're a little thinner. They're still just as flexible. I don't know if you can see that flex. They're just as flexible. They don't have a bend to them at all. They're pretty good. They're just slightly thinner. I think if you're hard on your nails, though, you might want to also run up the Extend Gel underneath. Just a suggestion. And now I'll compare it to the Enailcouture tips. What I will say, I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between the two. Pros and cons. So here are my Enailcouture stiletto tips, and this was a size 6 that I grabbed, so I'll just grab a size 6 for reference as well. You can see their size 6 is a little bit wider than the Apres size 6. Now, with the base color tips, you receive 500 tips in a clear box, already in the clear box. Downside is you receive 5 colors and only 10 tips per color. So maybe it's 5 or 10. I want to say it's 10 tips per color, 10 sizes, 5 colors. Yeah, 10 tips per color. So you receive 10 of every color for every size, and you receive a size 0 to 9 for Apres. So you get more tips, but you get less of each color. So if there's one particular color that you want, you can't do that with the Apres right now. I don't know if that's going to be an option for later or not. With the Enailcouture, it does not come in the tip box. You have to order the tip box separately, and you only receive 250 tips. So whether you're getting the clear Enailcouture or the colored Enailcouture, you get 250 versus the normal 500, unless you're getting the Sean Legend. Those only have 250 for some reason. So if you're comparing the Enailcouture to the regular non-limited edition Apres tips, it's going to cost you $20 to get 500 Enailcouture tips, plus the cost of the box, which I think is $4. So you're talking $25. It's still a savings over Apres. So I just wanted to call that out. It's not as drastic as a savings as you might think, but if you're a home user, do you really need more than 250? Downside with Enailcouture, they don't offer refill sizes. Apres does, but I can never find refills in the size I need. So do they really? I don't know. They seem very hard to come by. The other thing with Enailcouture, I just put my stickers that came on the bags in the box. The box has 10 slots, but you actually get 11 sizes. So it goes from 11 all the way to 0. But you can see their sizes are just a little bit wider, but I think this is going to offer a little more variety than in sizing than the Apres. So I think that's a plus for Enailcouture as well. I don't have any of the clear tips of the Enailcouture, so I can't really compare those. I have some on order, so they'll probably be here in a month or two because you know how slow Enailcouture shipping is. I think that's the other thing. Customer service and shipping is horrible with Enailcouture. They are going through some massive growing pains right now. So if you're ordering from them, you need the patience of a saint because it will take a month to get your order easy. So just so long as you know, and their customer service is horrible. If they send you the wrong product, too bad, so sad. They don't give, I mean, it's just a nightmare. So just know, like, order with caution. You're saving money, but there's a cost to saving money sometimes. So with that said, let's compare the tips. This is the Apres tip. This is the Enailcouture tip. And this is the Apres clear tip. So one thing, everyone talks about how flimsy the Enailcouture tips are. They are more flimsy, but it's right here on the cuticle side. It is subtly flimsy. It's not much. And the reason why it's more flimsy, and I don't know if it's going to translate onto the camera, this tip is more sheer down towards the cuticle and a little fuller coverage as it gets up to the top. It's not ombre, it's just slightly more sheer and a little bit thinner. So it's a little thinner than the Apres tip, where this one doesn't have, I'm trying to get my nail out of the way, this one doesn't have any flex at all here. It's slightly thinner, not by much, but enough that you can actually see the difference. I call that out because I think it's going to be less work on the cuticle area once you put them on, because they are already just slightly thinner. So I think it's actually a plus. I think where people are seeing bending, see how this is bending here? It's because there's flex here by the cuticle. So if you have a short nail bed, this thing is just gonna flex, but I can't get it to bend around. So if you have a longer nail bed, let's say your nail bed kind of comes to here, it still has some flex, and then once you get to here, the flex is almost non-existent. So these are much more flexible. I would say these need a hard gel, and of course they're starting lawn service in my yard right now, but these are gonna need a definite gel layer over them, in my opinion. So it's going to be slightly more work than the Apres tip. But the standard Enailcouture length with the long Apres length, pretty much the same, but size-wise, the Enailcouture are a little wider. If you don't mind, I mean, I ran the Extend Gel all the way through anyway, so if you don't mind doing that, that's all you're going to have to deal with these. So I think the Enailcouture is actually a pretty good option for those who want to save a little bit of money. Just maybe take 10 more minutes worth of work. And they're still also a little thinner than the Apres tips, actually maybe more than a little thinner. You can actually see the difference here. These are slightly thicker, but then when you compare it to the clear tips, these are definitively thicker, very obviously thicker. So I think these could still be an option. I haven't tried these yet. They just feel a little too flimsy for me. And I don't know, every time I went to wear them, I just decided to go with an apres tip instead. So I'm gonna have to give these a go on an upcoming manicure just to kind of compare. If I was thinking about it, I should have done one hand with each just to see, but they would have been two different colors and that would have driven me crazy. So anyways, that's it. That is my review. Hopefully there's some good info in here since I took up 20 minutes of your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Bye.